Hello again guys, EzTarget here. Another day, another mission, well, our first mission I should say, so straight into it. As you saw in the previous one there, I didn't build any rockets. I didn't show you the rocket side. I only showed you the plane hangar, and I didn't actually build any planes. I just flew the stock ones for a little while. They are fun. I really do need to getting a handle on those a little bit better. But as we can see, we've got the space plane hangar, the SPH. You have the VAB, or Vehicle Assembly Building, which is where you build rockets, and the tracking station, and launch pad. Now if I go to the launch pad, it says, please select a ship to launch. We have none. I don't have the stock ships. I have them in that save called stock. If I go to tracking, I can actually have a look around the space, so you can see what's going on. So you got the sun, you got Moho, Eve, Kerbin. These are your inner planets. Then you got Duna, Dress, Jewel, and Elo. Now, from what I understand, these are supposed to be similar to what's in our universe. So you got Duna here is the Kerbin version of Mars. Is it Dres or Jewel? Jewel is the Kerbin version of Saturn. Yeah, Saturn. And Elo is the Kerbin version of Pluto, I believe. This one here, Moho, I think, is a mixture of Venus and Mercury. Eve is an interesting planet. If we zoom in, it's covered in water, well, lakes of unknown liquid. It has an atmosphere, and it has a very high gravity well. It has Gilly, which is a moon. Gilly isn't so much a moon, it's a rock. To orbit this, like any speed, like just above it, it's like 10 meters a second orbit speed you need to actually create an orbit on this, and it's a very small rock. It's literally an asteroid that's been captured by the gravity well of Eve. Moho. Moho, and it's just, as you see, a rock. The satellite images. What the hell was that? Oh well. Something's just fell over. Ah, I've got a USB thing for me. Raspberry Pi just fell over. As I say, that's just a planet. Then you got Kerbin with its moon. Duna. Is it Duna? No, Duna has its own little moon called Ike. Ike again is a blasted rock with what looks like a polar ice cap, and you can see Duna in the background there. It looks very much like Mars. You've got the polar ice caps, and yeah, it's been hit with asteroids. Next one out, Dress. Well, Dress is not actually on its orbital line for some reason. Yeah, it's not on its orbital line. Its orbital line there, it's over here. Here's just another rock world. Pitted, barren rock, but has some interesting features. A nice canyon by the looks of things there. Nice canyon there to look at. That's not so much a canyon, but like a gorge. Somebody probably took a swipe at it at some point in the past. And Jewel, the gas giant, has its own little planetary system. I'm not going to go through all the planets here. I'm just going to go and have a look at Jewel here, which is a nice green gas giant. Has its own weather systems. Don't think you can actually land on Jewel. As I say, it's a gas giant. You got Lathe, the only other planet on Kerbin that has a breathable in the Kerbol System that has a breathable atmosphere. And looks like some planets. It's got a South Pole there, North Pole. Yeah. Then you got Val, Tylo, Rock, Val, Ice Ball. Next one now is Bop, Ride, Pol, I would say that looks like a desert type. Very sandy. So yeah, very sandy, very jagged rocks. So it'll be interesting visiting all these. And finally on our grand tour, Elo. Again, it's not on its line, the line's there. This is a proper ice ball. Some cracks on it so you can see the underlying rock surface. But is it rock surface or is it something else? Because that there's flat. No texture on it. So yeah, we have some interesting planets and somewhere to investigate there. That's an ice ball. Oh, and the other one I forgot was Minmus, wasn't it? So, where's Minmus? Let's have a look. Minmus is also an ice planet. So, it's quite nice. Of course, these are all deals you can get until you can actually go there. So that was a quick guided tour of the Kerbin system. You've got the focus on the sun here. As you can see, the sun has sunspots on it. So you can see the sunspots, high and low. Actually has a surface that you can scan with some mods. But anyway, that will all be for future. First thing I want to do is, well, let's try and do a repeat of the first system, well, the first rocket that was launched from Earth. And we are going to make this nice and simple. First of all, command module. Now I'm going to put the engineering boilerplate on so that I can get a cost of this. Now the cost of the engineering plate is 240 and the command module is 600, hence 840. So first thing I'm going to do is stick a decoupler on there upside down. The decoupler is literally going to well, I'll explain it properly. Decoupler is there so that anything that's attached to it from the bottom of this triangle, it will stick to. So this will stick to this, and anything that's attached up here will get ejected out. We don't want that. We want it this way around. So this will eject from this, and anything attached to it, it will go with. And what we're going to attach to it? Well, we want to put a safety system. So I'll just move that out of the way, and then go to aerodynamics, get one of these, slap that on, go to propulsion, and down here you've got angle snap and symmetry. Angle snap just means, well, you can put this anywhere. If it's on a circle or if it's on this, it snaps to the angles. And symmetry, you can change the way it works. Now the symmetry is controlled by X and Shift X, so you can increase and decrease, and the angle snap is by C, which is pretty decent. I didn't know those commands until recently. Well, there's Shift X anyway. And what I want to do is put this like that. Yeah. Okay, so we now have this rocket. So now we've got the stage at the bottom here, and I want to move these up here. In fact, I want to move that into there. So basically, when that fires, it fires, these fire as well. So I hit the space bar for the staging. So I get this stage, fire that, and this whole section just disappears. It goes off at some stupid speed in space. About, I think it sort of hits about 1,000 meters away within 2 seconds. It's pretty decent. As you can see there, it's got 161 meters a second delta V. Thrust to weight ratio is 4.57. So basically, after 3 seconds, these rockets are finished, and whatever's attached to it is like 161 meters a second further away from you every second. So it's pretty decent, and it's pretty good if you want to slow the ship down when you land as well. Next thing I want to do is stick some of these on, which are side parachutes. Now these will actually assist with the slowing down of the ship, and also when I come to return our pilot to the ground, these will make sure he doesn't die. Next thing I want to do is we'll give this ship a name. I'm thinking something nice. Now I know from reading up recently that the first spaceship command capsule was called Vostok I, so we're going to call this the Kostok I, in memory of that, because, well, I don't think the Russians had that on all the side parachutes, but this does. Okay. Now, one thing I want to do is make sure that the parachutes are fired after I'll get rid of this lot. So, next thing I need to do is build a little. So, as I said before, the cupola, the big part of the triangle, is the part it sticks to. The small part is what gets ejected. I think there's one on there as well, and these are slightly different. These ones, they actually separate the top and the bottom, and then it just floats away as a bit of extra debris in space. So yeah. Okay, so we've got that lot. First thing I want to do is make sure we don't lose our Kerbinaut. So abort sequence is decouple that and activate those engines. So basically, if for any reason I need to abort, hitting the backspace key on the keyboard will fire this from the rest of the rocket. Command capsule flies off, be on these rockets for approximately 3.3 seconds. Then what happens after that is it stops rising, going away, hopefully away from the exploding tanks under here, and the passenger inside is safe. At which point, if we are on deceleration, if we are pointing in the right direction and are actually heading back towards Kerbin, we're fine. If we're not, then we're stuffed and we're in orbit. Now, to counteract that, what I might do is put a small docking node on here, which is this one, and that goes there. Now, basically, it's reducing the efficiency of these rockets every time I add weight onto this. So if I take that off, that's how efficient it is. It's 135 meters down. But as I say, this is emergency section. It's not meant to get you be very efficient. It's just meant to get you out of there. So basically, thrust ratio and everything like that is designed just for this part to escape. Now, what I will be doing here is to say I've got the Clampotron Junior. Excuse me. This allows this capsule to be picked up by another ship, which will be a rendezvous in space, and that is something that I will have to do at some point as part of the mission profiles that I'm doing. As I say, this first mission is just to get a capsule in space, do an orbit, and then come back to Earth. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick some fuel on here. Now, you've got different fuel types. You've got, I'll zoom out a bit. You've got fuel tanks. You've got 1.25 meter fuel tanks, 2.5 meter fuel tanks, half tanks. That's the half tank for that one. Sorry, got that wrong. You got half tank, normal tank, double tank, and that's the half. Sorry, yeah, half, normal, double. We're not going to be using these. What I want to do is put a little bit of fuel on here and a little TG engine. This engine only has a thrust of what, 50 max power. As you can see here, it's got a thrust to weight ratio of 1.35. So for every so this here has to push all of this, and it's very weak. It's only got 904 meters a second thrust on it, but that's fine. So I say, I'm not, for the emergency section, I don't need that. I just need this bit. So see, 135, add this on. These things can't even lift this. Now, to make sure that the staging is correct, that's the main thing. So I want that. When that runs out, hit tab. I don't want them firing off. What I want to do is move that into its own. Right. So what I'm doing now is I'm just restaging this capsule part. So basically, at the end, you got your main engine. When that runs out, you have to hit the space bar and eject this section of the ship, the bottom half, which leaves this part. Now, I'm not planning on getting rid of this in space. I'm actually planning on getting rid of that, or using that before the parachute's in the atmosphere as a way of slowing the descent. So it's still going to be like an emergency escape, but it's still going to be used elsewhere. So next thing I need to do is grab these, and what I want to do is I'm going to use the LVT-45, which is this one has vectoring on the engine, this one doesn't. So this one just chucks out energy. It's the main stuff, it'll fire straight, that's it. Whereas this thing just fires, and then, but you've got a way of actually controlling the ship. So this is going to be the upper stage, this is going to be the stage underneath. And all now is this. Oops. One of these. And one of these. and one of these. Now, I'm thinking that should be enough to get into space, but I'm not 100% on that. Again, double checking the vectoring, the staging. It's basically main engine, fuel. When these fuel tanks run out, hit the space bar. I start running on this engine, but I don't want any delay between this and this. So this goes, hit the space bar, and then this engine starts straight away. So what I want to do now is get the radial decouplers. This allows me to put side boosters on, and we'll just put some side boosters on. Okay. As I say, I'm not looking for anything amazing. What I want to do though is I want to move this engine down here so that these both fire at the same time as the main engine. So I've got all of the thrust at once. When these run out, hit the spacebar, they get ejected, and then I've got the main section. Hopefully I should be able to get out. Now according to this, we have where's it? Mass, thrust. So it's got different thrust values on each stage. Thrust weight 3.6, which is good. That will last for approximately 29 seconds. Then we've got a minute and 5 seconds. 1 minute 5.5 seconds worth of the next section. Then we've got about a minute worth of the other section. And again, emergency at the top. This is leaving Kerbin. If I wanted to have a look at MUN, click on that, and it gives us the MUN values. Click on MinMiss. Now, Kerbin, note down here, it's 28.7. If I go to Eve, the same. But these values, thrust to weight ratios, are well off. 2.13, 3.63. As I said, Eve has a higher gravity well. Go to the MUN, got a lot more. Got to MinMiss, even more. I think, is it Gilly? I said? There's a rock? Yeah, look at that. It's like you sneeze and you leave Gilly. Juna, Ike, Drez, Jewel, Lath, Val. So yeah, Gilly is literally an asteroid that's been captured. I could probably get home. In fact, I think you can get home from Gilly on just the jetpack that comes with the Garrus. You can actually jump from Gilly from Gilly, and travel back. Just if you get the trajectories and everything right, using the RCS fuel on a jetpack. Brilliant, eh? So anyway, just before I go, I'm going to make sure that this is stable and doesn't collapse. So I'll put a couple of stabilizers on and move this down. Okay, so we'll save Kostok I and launch. Now I want the orbital information and the surface information. So this tells me apoapsis height, which is the highest altitude of the flight, the periapsis, which is the lowest altitude. As you can see, the lowest altitude is way underground, highest altitude is 73, which is here, where the crew are. My inclination is 0.1. My eccentricity of how circular the orbit is. My orbital period of 9 hours 11 minutes 6 seconds. My longitude of the apo, longitude of me perio. Yeah, longitude. So where me periapsis is, where me longitude apoapsis is. I think that's apoapsis, I'm not sure. Then you got the major axis, minor axis. These ones I'm not sure about. The ones I'm more interested in is these two here, and these ones lesser. And then when when I go into docking and things like that in space, be this one, and when I'm in orbit, this one. Surface display, so my altitude when I want to land, be looking at this one. So as you can see there, 5 meters above the ground. That space there, I think. My vertical speed, horizontal speed. Horizontal speed, you need to get that as close to 0 as possible when you're trying to land. Same with vertical speed, anything less than 10 meters a second I think is safe. Your current position on the world, how much G-force you're experiencing, the terminal velocity of the ship, and the atmospheric information. Yeah, so everything's there. And then you've got your vessel information at the bottom there, which is how much delta V you've got in this stage, the next stage, delta V total. His own total, I've got like just under 4,000 meters a second delta V, specific impulse, blah blah blah, how heavy it is, thrust maximum, your throttle, thrust to weight ratio, current, surface, and what it is with the throttle. But anyway, first thing I want to do is make sure that Jeb can escape properly. So we're just going to do a test of the abort sequence. So Jeb, if you can do, please hit your abort button now. Just to say that's ejected cleanly. I'll just tilt this over slightly and go through all of the stages. Got rid of it, and there goes the parachutes, and that falls back to the earth with a bang. And Jeb is safe and falling back to the earth. So I'll just physical time warp this up. Until we get to about altitude. You can see there, altitude there is from the terrain. Whoops. Jeb is not happy. Yeah, he's not happy. But as you say, any crash you walk away from is a successful mission. Isn't that right, Jeb? Isn't that right, Jeb? Huh? Isn't that right? Yeah. Anyway, we'll end the flight, and this time we'll restart it and do it properly. So the most G-force he had there was 3.2. Ouch. Okay. Having fun in 3, 2, 1. And I've just done a new mistake. The new mistake was I got my staging wrong. So let's go back to the vehicle assembly building and fix the staging, because these fire after this, but at the same time as these fire, these side boost fire, so these will just go and probably destroy the ship. So what I need to do is move these down here, save and launch. And clear the ship that's out there already, please. Thank you. Okay. So, put the SAS on, which basically is the internal guidance system that's in the capsule, which should help it keep straight and might make it easier for us to fly. So, in 3, 2, 1. And that was a nice clean launch from Camry. Our speed is pretty decent, going SAS on this, so I'm going to have to do everything manually. Which is open the nav bar. Look at them. Right. Whoa. Guess what, Jeb? Quick return. As you can see, that thing is just problematic. And there's the things that were jettisoned before. Solid boosters. Ugh, don't hit me. So anyway, we know he's going to land safely. So we're going to end flight. Let's add a module on, which is called an advanced SAS. Don't have control surfaces, so we'll just put a normal stabilization assistance module. Basically, it helps keep the ship straight with torque forces. I knew there was something I'd missed. So we'll try this again. This is 5th attempt at this flight, I believe. So in 3, 2, 1. This time you see the rocket is actually pretty not stable. Why you do that? Yeah, Jeb's loving this. Okay, so get rid of them, and then next circuit round. Jeb, just aim at the ground. Jeb loves his abort system more than he loves his rockets. I'm sure of it. So yeah, let's just get down closer to the ground before opening the parachute. Oh, I want to play chicken, Jeb. Oh, we want to play chicken. Chicken. Yeah. There we go. Well, he's safe again. And there's the solid rocket boosters just blowing up. And our rocket's gone over the water somewhere. Okay, apparently this SAS is not good enough. Kostok. Yeah. I'll delete Kostok 1. Okay, this time SAS on, which can use control surfaces and everything like that. We don't have any. The only control thing that it's got is the Kerbinaut engines. And it's not actually tilting this time. Yay. The engines are overheating, but that's fine because it's a solid booster, because they overheat. Every time you fly this thing, you're not flying from this, you're flying from this. And the altitude information is the abort button there. So basically, I'm now watching the altitude here, this altitude here. APRS's height, I need that to be in the 100 range, and I need to be going over that way, hit 200 and something meters a second. 2,300 meters a second, give or take. G-force, I think that's the maximum G-force that he's sustained. $67, $68. Right, that's now right. So if I was to circularize at that altitude, I would be in orbit. Just lost that altitude. So let's continue pushing, but we will push that way. Come on. 98. 99. Right, so I've stopped the engine there. So if I go to the add a maneuver node, bring this up. Balls. 99.5. Where the heck is it? That's over there. 101. That'll do me nicely. It's at 99.5. And that is 101.2. So then 5% of each other, isn't it? So that's a bit of the rocket that we just kicked off before. So we need to burn for 1 minute. Oh god. In that general direction. You have to burn for 1.5 minutes in this general direction, and the node is in 45 seconds. So let's hope we can do it. As we can see, that's where I wanted the node. I'm in the right place either, so if I bring that around, perhaps it's 100. Oh, don't want it up. Bring it back down, bring it back down, bring it back down, bring it back down. 182 or 141. So 117, that's at... We've just run out of fuel. We've just run out of fuel. Okay, so we're not going to get in orbit with this one. Estimated burn time 1 day. Yeah, that's not going to work. So that. So height, maximum height we'll hit was 101. Current altitude is 100. Altitude above terrain is 101 because we're over the ocean. So let us prepare our ship for re-entry. It's not throttled up, you silly sod. Well, it's throttled up, but there's no engine. They've changed the font, which is a good addition because the old font was horrible looking. Right, so I'm going to eject that section. This is getting to be a little bit tricky to control because the craft is so small and light, it is very easy to control. So there we go. There's the engine section just got rid of. We're now just gonna wait until we hit the thicker part of the atmosphere. It looks like we're going to be coming down in the drink. Oh well, the Navy will come round and pick Jeb up later on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a deceleration burn, but not of any engines as such. What I'm going to do is do a burn on those rockets. As you saw, that did slow us down a bit. Slow down a hell of a lot. I think that's minus. Okay, so we're still 1300, well, 13,000 meters in the air. Coming down nicely. Starting to hear the wind on the capsule. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of that. Maximum G-force Jebs as spotted as 8.22. That was probably when I'd done that emergency deceleration. That's been a perfect textbook re-entry into the system. Now, there's been a lot of talk about features in the upcoming release, and one of them is re-entry heat. So, the re-entry I've just done there was perfect. Why are the gears up? Down. Let's get them out. Slow us right down. Whoa. That G-force would have killed him. 22.17 G. You're dead. No one needs to look happy. You had something splash and that made him happy. So yeah, this is like this. I'm pretty sure that there is Minmus. And it is. There's Minmus there. That'll be something we'll be aiming to head towards at some point. That was one of the. That was the second object added into the game to give players something to do, because it had the moon's trajectories on a flat 90. That's got an incline on it, and then they decided to add the other planets with different positions and everything. So lots of fun. And there's the sunset. So, first mission to get a Kerbal into space. Check. Get him back safely. Sort of. I killed him. Anything above, that's 15? 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Anything above like 9 Gs is classed as deadly. He went double that. Jebediah is the puddle of goo in the bottom of this capsule. Speaking of which, let's just see. Nope, he's still in one piece. The reason he's still in one piece is it's Jebediah. I wonder what they are. Toilet bags? Sick bags, maybe? But yeah. That's it. Touchdown. So you can actually do everything from the cockpit if you wanted. So the real first person view. So you've got RCS, SAS, right, stage button, stage light, high G-force warning. Yeah, that would have went off at that point. Radar altimeter. Handy to have, that's why you want this. You've got your sea level altimeter, your vertical speed, up and down, atmosphere reader, roll your pitch, surface speed. Click this button here, you got your orbital speed, and if you were targeting something it would have target speed. I think that's all. Everything else is on off. SAS rot, IG. So you got these other lights that they're going to probably add features onto as well. But yeah, no target. Okay, so that's the end of that flight. Next flight will be making the Vostok II and trying to get the Kostok II, I should say, or a different name. Bloody phones. Or a different name, and we'll try and get a. Apparently we can't. No, we need a vessel. No, you can't. You need to have someone out there. Pack chute here. Chute lock. Never actually looked at the graphics on this properly, but it is really well done. Lock maintenance. Oh no, lock mechanism. So yeah. Next mission, we will be trying to get Jeb into orbit properly. Until then, catch you later.